Hello, everybody, and welcome to week 2 of Entertaining with Tea. Really excited to have you all back. It is a dreary day in Toronto today. Now, I say it's always a good day for tea, but on days like today, particularly so, it's a wrap your hands around a mug kind of day. Really excited about our guests today. I've got some favorites. And we're going to start with one of my favorites, and that is Marika DeVienne. Marika has been working in the tea business for the past 20 years with a focus on sourcing traditional teas from China, Japan, and Sri Lanka. She lived in China for 6 years, studying the art of Chinese tea, and has traveled extensively in China, Japan, Sri Lanka, India, Mexico, Trinidad, Greece, Turkey, the list goes on, all in the pursuit of the perfect cup. Prior to joining DAVIDsTEA, Marika owned her own tea shop for 10 years in the famed Jean Talon market in Montreal. 2 years ago, Marika joined the DAVIDsTEA family and currently works as project lead in the content department. She's also the host and producer of DAVIDsTEA, recently launched podcast Steeping Together. I hope you all have it on your phones. I do, and I definitely listen. Where she interviews DAVIDsTEA insiders and other tea enthusiasts about various topics regarding the vast world of tea. And it takes me great pleasure to say hello to you, Marika. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm so good. It's nice to see you.
It's wonderful to see you. It's a dreary day here in Montreal as well, but I'm so excited that I'm about to sip on some absolute comfort in a cup. It's going to help. So
you have some fun ones today, but we can't start without talking about your background and all things holidays and Christmas.
I mean, yeah, I'm currently in the merch room at DAVIDsTEA because it's the quietest room here to work in the office today.
Okay.
It's also the most visually appealing. I mean, this is a really nice environment to work in. I'm personally really excited because we are but one day away from Advent season. It's on. It is happening. I have, of course, myself personally, the DAVIDsTEA 24 Days of Tea, but I'm also doing about 3 other Advents from other tea companies. It's just the best time of year to discover new teas. I'm so excited.
Oh, that's funny. So, okay, so you've got yours and you're doing from 2 other companies as well that you do at home.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. There's some, there's so many fun advent calendars out there now. I mean, obviously tea-based ones, and those are the important ones, but there's some other really, really nice ones as well.
There are. I got my husband a coffee advent.
Oh, nice.
Because I actually don't know the differences between coffees and I kind of don't want to learn. So I want him to explain the nuances to me without having to actually drink it myself. But yeah, Advents, aside from just being like, it's that time of year, 'tis the season and all that, I think it's a really good way to learn more about a tea company that you're interested in, because it gives you like a daily sample of like the best of the best. I mean, I'll speak for DAVIDsTEA, but I'm sure I can speak for the other companies as well. We all put our best foot forward in our Advent. And it gives you such a great idea of like what's out there in the tea world without, breaking the bank. So I'm so excited.
No, I love that. And that sampling is such an important aspect to get people to, try things they wouldn't have normally tried and break them outside of, what they normally do.
Exactly.
Our comfort zone.
Exactly.
So I could chit chat with you forever, but you are here to prepare some deliciousness for us. I see organic ceremonial matcha. I see winter Earl Grey, and I see a hot chocolate.
Yes.
floor is yours.
So it's the holidays. I've been invited to this broadcast before. So for those of you who have seen me before, you know I'm all about quick, easy, delicious, and just cups for everyone. And this year, what I've decided to do, because we're going to have a few more people over at my place this year, is we're going to do eggnog latte extravaganza.
Nice. Okay.
And in order to do so, I will be using these 3 different teas, as I mentioned. But I have discovered that the world of eggnog has grown vastly in the past few years. So I'm used to just using, just like classic eggnog. But
Marika, everything is fancy now.
I know.
Everything.
But have you had oat nog?
We were just talking about that. Like literally 4 minutes ago.
I am in love with this.
Okay.
And
I haven't had it.
It's really good. And the reason I like it is because I'm able to add that eggnog flavor, but not at the 10 that eggnog is at. It's a little bit lower. And so it's actually pairing much more interestingly, I'll say, with certain teas. So I kind of want to talk about like the different bases and like why you would use one over the other. Okay. So to make my latte, I'm out of camera. Oh, I can hear. I have Winter Earl Grey, which is a black tea with some white tea, cream, pink peppercorns. Very, very, very delicate, but it has that cream of Earl Grey creaminess that's just wonderful. And so when I added traditional eggnog to it, it was a bit extra. It was a bit much. It was just a little intense. And so I just made my concentrate here, put 4 times as more tea than I usually would in about 4 ounces. So I've got a nice dark concentrate, and I've already pre-frothed some of my oat nog like that. And so it's not really too bad that you can't taste this.
Yeah, I know. It's not as thick as traditional eggnog.
Absolutely not. Yeah. It's a lot thinner. I frothed this about 10 minutes ago, so I would have more mousse on the top if I had frothed it fresh. But what I like pairing this with is the cream of Earl Greys, are the teas that already have that creaminess.
Yeah.
And I find that the oat nog is not hiding the details, the nuanced flavors of the tea. I'm still tasting all of the components in the tea. So the tea is shining more, because I find with traditional eggnog, and I'm going to make one, but a traditional eggnog, that is just sugar. That's just sugar right there. It is just sugar. So this is really the cup that I will be giving to my grandmother, who loves the holidays.
Okay.
Very appreciative of all the celebrations, but like, can we just tone it down?
Okay.
Just a touch like that.
All right. Okay.
So that's, and then I'm going to make very quickly a ceremonial matcha latte. So again, just a lot more matcha, and I'm just going to froth it up. And I think I've said this before. This is just such a great activity to give the kids in the house during the holidays. Just get them to whisk it up. They have so much fun with it. Just make sure you got a deeper matcha bowl with the kids. It just helps with the splashback.
Do your kids drink tea?
They do. They are very particular about which teas they drink. I have no idea where they got that from. No idea at all.
Couldn't imagine.
My eldest, who's about to turn 7, kind of only likes first flush Darjeelings.
Oh, excusez-moi. Okay.
I know. And my younger one likes anything peach, anything iced peach. I can give her. So they're on the tea bandwagon. Their advent calendars, though, to our earlier point, are chocolate, because what are we doing here? What do we do? Who are we fooling here?
Yeah, there's no dialing it back for the kids for the holidays.
Absolutely not. So I'm just gonna pour my concentrate in there. I'm always just so delighted by the color of matcha. I don't know. After all these years, I know
it never gets old.
It never gets old. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. All right, I'm just gonna get my froth eggnog, and you'll see. I mean, how much frothier and thicker it is.
Yeah, you
just
can
from
totally
the
see how thick it is.
pour,
Yeah,
like that. And there we go.
nice. I
So
love that. I love the idea of mixing eggnog with the tea.
it's
Love
just,
it.
it really gives you different flavor profiles, different, like feelings. Like this matcha is Christmas. Like it's a ceremonial matcha, yes. And so it has a beautiful body that adds to the cup. But with the oat nog, it was just too thin. I tried it. It was just too thin. It just didn't give me the oomph that I wanted. And the traditional eggnog did. But I'm not done because I can't just hand over a latte like this to people. Like, what am I, So I know you cook probably far more than I do, Shabnam.
Okay.
Have you entered the world of making your own flavored powdered sugars?
I have not, but I will tell you what I do, and I kind of feel like you would as well. Make your own marshmallow.
So you told me this last year, and I thought I was going to do it. Did not make the resolution list for 2022. Maybe 2023.
You never know. All right, so tell me about the sugar.
It's so easy. So I use Ceylon cinnamon. So it's not that hard cinnamon stick that everyone knows. Like you can just break it, like crumble it up with your fingers, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And then I put it in a stone mortar and pestle. This is crucial. Stone mortar and pestle, grind it up. And then I just add sugar and grind that up as much as I can.
Okay.
Very simple. Very, 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 very simple. And
I've done that with salt. I've done that with tomato salt.
Exactly. It's the same. It's the exact same process. And if you want to be cool, you can give little gifties like that. I do it with cardamom. I do it with allspice, anything. But for this matcha latte, I'm just going to sprinkle that. And you can't see it, but I left little pieces of cinnamon, not totally ground up, so you get a little texture happening with your latte.
Perfect. And it's thick enough that it would float, right?
Exactly. So it's floating right on top. And when you get to the bottom, you'll have tiny little, very crunchy pieces of cinnamon that you can just bite into. It pairs perfectly with the matcha. And to come back to my winter Earl Grey oat nog, grab the candy canes off the tree, grind those up, and just top. And the fun thing is if you leave it large enough, again, you'll get that textural crunch that's just so delightful.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Well, deliciousness as always from you. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
I say this every time, whether it's entertaining with tea or iced teas. I'm always amazed that everybody comes on with something new and different. Do you know what I mean? Everybody has something new and different that we haven't seen or done before. So
I think it's the privilege that we have working in the tea industry that we're continuously getting inspiration from the tea leaf itself, because it is so varied and allows so many things for you to discover.
Yeah.
So, when you invited me, I was all nervous, like, oh, what am I going to do? And it took about 10 minutes. I just had to go back to the tea and be like, tell me what to do. And it's all there. It's all there.
It is all there. And if we take that and just use ingredients outside of what we would traditionally do to elevate what's already there, that's when the delicious surprises happen. So thank you as always, Marika.
My pleasure.
Lovely to see you.
Lovely.
Merry Christmas to you and your family. I feel like I can say it now.
Yeah, I think we're a day away. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Merry Kwanzaa. Let's celebrate it all. Let's celebrate together, all over a cup of tea.
All of it. Thanks so much, Marika. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye. Oh, what fun. All right. So I love eggnog, and I love the idea of doing something a little bit dialed back. Now, it is the holidays, and I'm not sure if dialing back is necessarily what everybody wants to do. There is a reason we all have to sew our mouths shut in January to get rid of all the excesses of December. So if you don't want to dial it back, do a traditional eggnog. But what I really love about what Marika did there is that she used something outside of the world of tea that we normally do, right? So we know lattes, but why not change the profile by doing something with an eggnog? Love that tip. Definitely going to steal that tip. So my next guest is who is my next guest? Will Dixon, Taylors of Harrogate. Will Dixon is tea buyer at Taylors of Harrogate, the home of Yorkshire tea. He's been with the company now for 10 years after starting with them as a trainee tea buyer. Will has traveled to many countries to visit tea estates. A lucky man. Kenya, India, Rwanda, Uganda, Tanzania, Sri Lanka, Indonesia, Ethiopia, and Malawi. Before becoming a tea buyer, he was a sheep farmer in the Scottish borders. Hi, Will. Nice to see you.
Hi, Shabnam. Good to see you. You well today?
I'm really well. It's late afternoon for you, so thank you as always for hopping on for us. Although it looks like late afternoon here as well, it is not. It's just that miserable here today.
No, it's good timing. The office is nice and quiet at this time of day, so it works well.
Well, that's definitely a bonus. Reading off the places that you've been in the tea world, lucky man. I say it all the time. If you have the opportunity, privilege, as Marika, the word that Marika just used, to visit tea country, I always encourage everybody to do that because you really get a much deeper appreciation and understanding for what goes into our cups of tea.
Absolutely, you can see all the hard work and the steps taken to make a good cup of tea. So yes, definitely good appreciation.
It also doesn't hurt that anywhere that tea grows is beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful and warm, sunny, hot.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, it is kind of the perk of working in tea. So, Will, thank you so much for coming on, as always. And again, you have done in the past. You are going to make for us a Yorkshire tea latte. I will confess, Yorkshire Gold, my morning tea every single day.
Great to hear.
Spiced Christmas latte. And then you're going to do something that I'm really excited about, and that's donuts.
Yeah. So you might have to take back your new and different, very similar to the last episode, I'm afraid. So yes, some more lattes.
Perfect.
And I'm cheating. I'll give you the heads up. I'm not actually making donuts, but we can talk about what I'm going to do there.
Okay.
So good to go.
All yours. All yours. Take it away.
So yes, obviously I'm aware not everyone will have a milk frother, but I'm going to froth some milk essentially. Mm-hmm. So if you don't have a frother, luckily I work at a tea and coffee company and I can get my hands on a milk frother. We just put a small amount of milk in, so we're going to do about 100 mils. Just to give it that extra taste, I'm going to add a spoonful of sugar in as well, just to give the milk that sort of sweeter taste. And again, it depends. I'll put some sugar in as we go, but basically I'll froth that now, and I'll move on to the tea as we're doing that. But yeah, just a little bit of sugar in this one. So for the tea, I've just brewed up tea a little bit stronger than normal because it's going to be, say, a half cup of tea and has to cut through the milk. So I'll move it there. I don't know if you can see my stuff because of my name tag, but I'll hold it up. So again, just a half cup of tea. So slightly stronger than you normally brew it.
Okay.
And then again, I don't know how you typically take tea, but I would normally drink black tea without any sugar. Yeah, so I'm just going to add a spoonful of sugar. So I'd suggest 1 spoonful more of sugar than you would normally take with your tea. That makes sense?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So if you do none, add 1. If you do 1, add 2.
Yeah, just to give it that sweetness, that richness, just that hint of luxury as well. So very simple.
Which, as I was saying earlier, is what the holidays are about, right? It's about the excess so that we can all, feel guilty about it in January.
And this one, just remember, this is Yorkshire tea. So I'll put that up there. So Yorkshire tea, this one's just black tea and frothed milk. So the milk's now frothed. We're just going to add it in. And there we go. So very, very straightforward, this one. It might sound adventurous, but it's taken, 30 seconds and I've made a tea latte.
Sometimes that's all you need is something really simple.
Exactly. So simple. I thought we're coming on the show. We'll do something simple, essentially, and keep it easy. So the second one, a very similar, just a slight twist on this. So I'm going to use our spiced Christmas tea. So can you see the loose leaf through there? So that's black tea with lemon and orange pieces, cinnamon bark, lemon oil, orange oil, and cinnamon oil, and some flowers there for decoration. So obviously, as it's a celebration we're doing today, I'm going to use a Christmas tea. Obviously, we don't have Thanksgiving over here, but we do have Christmas, obviously. So we'll use the Christmas tea. So same again. This time, I'll just do the milk quickly. So exactly the same, but this time, as well as sugar. So again, 100 mils of milk, teaspoonful of sugar, or a teaspoon more than you would usually have of sugar. And this time, a little pinch of cinnamon as well. So it depends how much you like cinnamon. So I'm going to do about 1/8 of a teaspoon. Put that in the frother along with the sugar and the milk. And again, it depends. Some people love cinnamon, some people aren't big fans. But again, stick it all in together, and it's just going to give that froth, that sort of Christmassy, spicy taste to it as well.
Oh, that's interesting. So, so I've never put cinnamon directly in the milk. I like that tip.
Yeah, it's nice. It gives it a slightly darker color. It just looks a bit more luxury at Christmas. And as soon as your nose hits the cup, you get that strong smell of cinnamon. So this time it is, as I said, the loose leaf spiced Christmas tea. Perfect. So again, depends on what ratios you like, but I'm doing a 50-50 today. Okay. So again, 1/2 cup of your spiced Christmas tea. Again, add a spoonful of sugar more than you would normally have.
And again, you've made a stronger infusion here than you would
just
normally.
Because you've got to cut through the milk, and the sugar helps as well, cutting through that milk. So just stronger than usual. There, the milk's frothed in that time. I don't know how well it'll come across on camera, but you do get that sort of golden look to the froth as well. So it does look slightly different to the, I don't know if it comes across. It probably doesn't on camera, but So there you've got the more Christmassy smell. Give it
delicious.
Cinnamon straight away. So fairly test that one. That's very nice.
I was, you can see the delight on your face.
Yeah, it's good. I've only had it a few times, so it's nice to have it again. But
no, it didn't go unnoticed that you sampled that one and not the other one.
Yeah, well, I can do. It's just for
no. I'm sure you love them both, but there's something delightful about something.
Some nice. The orange, the lemon, the cinnamon, it comes across nicely together, and it does have that wintry, that sort of festive aroma and taste to it. So all the senses. Looks good, tastes good, smells good. You can't ask for much more than that, can you?
Not really, no.
So that's the 2 lattes done. Now we're going to move on to donuts. So again, I bought donuts. I'm not going to try and tell the Canadians too much about donuts or making donuts, because I think you know a lot more about donuts than we do here in the UK. So I'm doing this example with donuts, but it can work for anything. All I'm going to do is the icing, the frosting. I don't know which term you use across there. A bit of both maybe, but essentially just going to make the frosting, the icing, the glaze. Yeah. And it works nice on donuts. It can go on top of a cake. It can go on cupcakes, biscuits, whatever it may be. So it's very simple. Again, like the last interview you could do. It's very simple. You could do with children as well. It's just using the flavors and the colors of tea to sort of add them to something else. And again, you don't want anything too strong in the background, because again, they'll be quite subtle as the flavors you do get from most teas. But again, I'm doing it with the where are we? Lemon and ginger today. So nice flavors, lemon and ginger on top of a nice donut, basically. Yep. But again, it could be any flavors, and depending what tea you use. If it's got hibiscus in it, it'll get a nice pink color on that icing as well. So I'll put some icing sugar just in a bowl, and then again, we're brewing everything strongly today. Just sort of brewed the lemon and ginger slightly stronger than I would usually. And instead of diluting or mixing the icing sugar with water as you would normally do, I'm just going to mix it with tea. So very straightforward, not too adventurous. It's not going to make the best view in this, me just stirring a bowl full of sugar. But, very simple, and anyone could do it. And that's what I was hoping for today. Just simple things that people can try at home without having to go out and get too many special ingredients.
Well, it's also achievable, right? Not everybody likes to cook, or but wants to do something perhaps interesting. So as you say, so simple. Icing, sugar, and tea.
Yeah, and it just brightens up. Something simple, plain. I don't know if you can see there. I will move them. They're not, so you can't see the donuts there, can you? I will raise them up slightly. Oh, well, not slightly.
Well, if you drizzle it up, we can see it a little bit.
Again, you can either dip in, or I'm going to drizzle, because if I dip in, my fingers are going to get sticky. But I've already done some on this. So I also tried some other flavors as well. I've got a green jasmine one.
Perfect. I love that.
Any flavors you like. You've got the colors, you've got the taste, you've got the flavors. Drizzle it over the top. And again, it's a texture, whichever texture you prefer for your glaze. Get it on top. Let it set for a few minutes, and then it's brightened up either your your donuts, your biscuits, whatever it may be. And the lemon and ginger would be very, very nice on top of a lemon drizzled cake as well.
So, and that's exactly where my head went. And to your point of what you said earlier, if donuts isn't your jam, which is fine, then any kind of a cake would work, any kind of a muffin would work, any kind of a cupcake, cookies, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. And then, just whichever your favorite tea is, use that tea and it'll work no matter what the tea is. As long as you like those flavors in tea, you're going to like those flavors on something else as well.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's so simple. It is honestly so simple, but so good. So, people are usually shy about, afraid of when we talk about the concept of cooking with tea. And what you just did is a perfect example of how I tell people to start is find a recipe that has a liquid in the recipe. Infuse that liquid with tea. So instead of water, you now have tea, and just cook. Make the recipe. Like you don't need to invent new recipes. And that's the easiest, simplest place to start if somebody wants to cook with tea.
Yeah. And coming back to the green jasmine, if you try that with rice as well, so you're boiling rice, have some jasmine tea in the water, you'll get jasmine rice then. So lovely, but again, so simple to do. Yeah.
Lovely. Well, thank you, Will, as always. Some deliciousness. For anybody at home who doesn't have a milk frother, it's really, really simple. You can heat up your milk on the stovetop, and you can buy online just these little hand frothers. That's what I use at home. Super easy, and they're inexpensive. I think you can get them for under $20.
Very nice drink, and it does. If again, it's afraid an alcohol-free option, but it does look nice and tastes nice as well.
It doesn't have to be alcohol-free, Will. I mean, a little shot of something in that Christmas drink would be delicious.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Will. Merry Christmas to you. Happy holidays. And I hope that we see you in the new year.
Yep. Same to you. And thanks again for having me on. It's great to see you again. And we'll see you in the new year. So
thanks for being with us, Will.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. Bye. Oh, delicious. Now I have a craving for a donut glazed with lemon ginger tea. See, I do a lot of cooking with tea, I do confess, and that is not one that I had thought of before. So thank you for that tip, Will Dixon. My next guest is Piripa Wijakaphan, and please forgive me if I've mispronounced that. Piripa is currently a holistic practitioner specializing in Thai massage. She also helps her family business in tea import, export, and wholesale with the company, The Tea House. Hello, Piripa. How are you?
Yeah, hi, Shabnam, and hi, everyone.
It's lovely to see you. It's lovely to see you. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me today.
So I'm really excited about what you're going to share with us. And it's pu'er, which I love. Not everybody loves it, but I want you to talk a little bit about pu'er because I want everybody to love pu'er. And chrysanthemum. And you're going to, well, you do what you're going to do. You tell us the why chrysanthemum, because it's not something I would ever have put together with pu'er.
Yeah, okay, so I'm here today to provide you a tea which is called chrysanthemum and pu'er tea. So, let me give you some background about this kind of drinks. So, mostly in China, we drink pu'er tea in without added any flavors or added any ingredients, right? And there are few traditional Chinese tea blends, and which is called chrysanthemum and pu'er tea.
Okay.
It basically consists of this pu'er tea and the beautiful dried flower chrysanthemum. So, yeah, before we proceed with the recipe, let me explain it to you about pu'er tea first. So, pu'er tea is, I would say, very unique tea that provide a rich taste. And some people would describe it as the mushroomy taste.
Yes.
More edges, like a wine. The more edges the tea is, the more flavors they are. So,
right.
example, 15 to 20 years old of pu'er tea will provide richer, deeper, and more complex flavors.
Yeah.
Right? This comes with many kinds of form. This one we call brick one.
Right.
And
So it's been compressed. It's been compressed into that brick form, right?
Compressed in the brick form.
Yeah.
And this one we call is in cake.
Yep. Now that's the way that we normally see pu'er, isn't it? In this cake form.
Yeah, cake form, yes.
Yeah.
And another type is we call tour.
Yep.
This one. Tour type is tour.
It's like it's a bird's nest.
Yeah, like a bird nest. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Tour.
Lovely.
Smell really good. You can smell it from here. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much about the form of pu'er tea. And yeah, so pu'er tea, a good quality of pu'er tea often appeals to the coffee drinkers.
Yes.
And it's a good pair of the rich desserts. Myself, I like to drink pu'er tea with the cream brulee.
Okay. Okay, nice. So what I really love about the choice that you made is pu'er has a lot of interesting and important benefits, right?
Yes, correct.
Can you tell us a little bit about the benefits of pu'er?
So pu'er tea is well known for digestive tea, and also can lower your blood sugars and help to, let's say, the liver
Yeah.
function, to improve liver function.
Yeah. So what I love about the fact that you've chosen this at this time of year is because, as I was saying with our earlier guests, both of them, the holidays are so much about excess and, eating too much and drinking too much. And this is perfect because pu'er is really good for helping to metabolize and digest fat, right?
Yes, correct. And also, in the restaurant, let's say dim sum restaurant, we usually serve the pu'er tea after the meal because
That's right.
to get rid of the oiliness and improve the digestive system.
Yeah. So it's actually the perfect tea to have during the holidays when we're, have all of this excess to balance it out with some goodness of pu'er. So you're combining it with chrysanthemum. Tell us about that.
So, let me just explain it a little bit about pu'er tea. So just like green and black tea, pu'er tea is in fact another type of camellia sinensis tea plant. And the classification is based on the how the leaves are processed, right? And basically, green tea is minimally oxidized, black tea is highly oxidized, and pu'er tea is also highly oxidized as well, but also undergoes the fermentation. That's why with the aging of pu'er tea, it provides a smooth taste of the tea.
Lovely.
Right, and also, as we know, pu'er tea is traditionally made in Yunnan province.
Yes.
Which is a southern part region of China.
Yeah. Well, it has a protected designation, so it has a geographical indicator, and you can only call pu'er if it comes from Yunnan.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Famous region for pu'er.
Lovely.
And next,
yes.
Talk about chrysanthemum tea.
Uh-huh.
So as we know, besides tea leaf, there are also herbal tea that are not made from Camellia sinensis tea plant.
Right.
Sometimes they are fruit and dry flowers, which is make it more suitable to do the herbal infusion. And today, what I pick is the white chrysanthemum. The best. I love this chrysanthemum in white because it provides smooth flavors and great aroma sense.
Be a nice balance with the pu'er.
Yes, that's
Good.
right.
Okay. So show us how you're going to make it.
Yes, right. So when combining both pu'er tea and chrysanthemum, so you will enjoy the smooth thickness textures of pu'er with tea, and also the well balance of the scents of flowers from chrysanthemum.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
Great.
get started then.
Perfect.
Well, as you know, the pu'er and chrysanthemum tea can make in several ways, but today I will use what we call a traditional Chinese teacup that's called gaiwan, which is mean the bowl with the lid.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
It's such a beautiful way to make tea.
Yeah, that's right. So so I'm just gonna use the pu'er tea. This one we already break it with the tea knife, right? Let's say from the
Yep. You just break it off. Yep.
break it off.
Mhm.
Small pieces, so make it easier for us when we want to make the tea. So I use a few pieces. This one, put in gailan. And then I put, let's say, my lucky numbers is 7. So
Okay.
about 7 flowers of chrysanthemum in here.
Quite a lot. Okay.
Yep, 7 to 8. And then while I wait for the water to be boiled, right? Yeah, so let's just assume it's already boiled. So I pour the hot water in circular motion.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say almost full cup of the gailan, and let it sit for the first brew for about, let's say, 10 seconds to wake up the tea leaf.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, all right.
I love all these traditions, the waking up of the tea leaves.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, it's almost waking up, waking up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's say for the first brew, we usually, this is the filter actually.
Yep.
So yeah, first brew, I usually try it with this one. First brew, don't drink it.
What's your pet?
What we have is what we call Chinese the frog here.
Oh, you've got the frog. Okay. I can't see it in the picture. So your pet is a frog. Okay.
Okay.
So the first pot goes to the pet.
Yeah, I also have this one. I'm not sure if you have seen it. This one is the lucky tot, just to to show that the temperature is ready to make the tea.
Oh, it changes color. Oh, that's brilliant. I've never seen that. Okay.
So I change the color to this color.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
Right. So then it makes sure that the water is extremely boiling.
Nice. Okay.
Okay, just make the second round.
Right.
So then I pour it in the circular motion for the second round and leave it for, let's say, about 1 or 2 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So once that is, and just for the sake of time, so once that's infused, you're then going to pour it out into the cup?
Yes, right. Yeah.
Right.
So in one gailan cup, I usually make about 6 brews.
Right. Because the beauty of the gaiwan, and because you're using such a strong brew, is you continue to add water to the same leaves, right? So you actually get multiple infusions. So for anybody watching, what you saw Piripa put into the gaiwan seemed like it was a lot, but it's actually not, because it continues to be infused, and they're very short infusions, right?
Yes.
So you're waiting 1 to 2 minutes, and then the next time you'll wait a little bit longer for your infusion.
So yeah, I can just simply show you how much water did I put.
Yep.
So yeah, just in the level that enough to submerge all flowers and the tea.
Perfect. Yeah.
Right. All right. So let's say I'm gonna do the second bruise with the filters, with the put on top of the sharing pot.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That is the second bruise, and then we can, this one is ready to share with your friend and families.
Lovely. Perfect. What a lovely infusion.
Okay, while I'm waiting, and then I'm going to do the third bruise. Okay, so let's see the colors of
Beautiful.
right. So it's kind of brownish,
Right. Yeah.
right? And then let me have a first sip. It's very smooth, and at the same time, it can feel the sense of the herbal chrysanthemum.
It's a really, really nice balance of flavor. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us. I think that with all of the craziness of the holidays, not only is pu'er is good for you, but on top of that, I think it's really important that, we take some time and just sit down and do exactly what you just did, just to bring some calm and center back into our lives. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. It was good seeing you.
Likewise. Thank you so much, and have a great day.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, that was soothing just watching. There's a lot going on this over the next few weeks for so many of us. Really, the first time since 2019. I was saying to somebody the other day that the city of Toronto has not been in some kind of a lockdown, which means that holidays and holiday parties rather are back, and it's exciting and fun and wonderful to be around people, but I think that to some extent we're also not used to it. So I encourage you to take some of the time and do what Piripa just showed us, to find a little bit of calm and relaxing in the hecticness as well. And with that, I would like to introduce our next guest, who you have all definitely seen on previous episodes, sessions that we've done, Entertaining with Tea, as well as ICE TV in June. And that is Cindi Bigelow. Cindi is a third-generation president and CEO of family-owned Bigelow Tea. Before assuming this key role in 2005, Cindi spent nearly 20 years in all areas of the company that her grandmother founded in 1945. Headquartered in Fairfield, Connecticut, with additional manufacturing plants in Idaho and Kentucky, Bigelow Tea is the national market leader of specialty teas and maker of everybody's favorite Constant Comment tea. The company remains a 100% family-owned business and employs 450 people across 3 manufacturing facilities, producing over 2 billion tea bags annually. And hello to you, Ms. Bigelow. Hi, Cindi. How are you?
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm really good. It's nice to see you.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you in your festive red. You guys just wrapped up Thanksgiving last week.
We did. It was wonderful. It was really one of my favorite holidays because there's no gift giving. You just sit around and you get to have good conversation and eat. So it was really nice. It's a nice holiday.
Nice. Yeah, I was just saying that, it's the first time for us here in Toronto, at least since 2019, that we're allowed to be with people unrestricted. And it's Christmas dinners holiday dinners, Christmas dinners, parties, whatever you want to call them, after another, which is a lot. And it's a bit of sensory overload, but really fun and exciting as well.
I think it's needed. I think there's been a lot of obviously necessary isolation, but I think that taking its toll on people. And I think it's great that people are getting out there again. The airports were full. The train stations were so full that they actually told my daughter while she was on the train, anyone that would possibly get off on the platform and take another train.
Oh, gosh.
It's just been, everything's hustle bustle, just like I love around the holidays. So it's great.
As it should be. You, Cindi, are not only going to use everybody's favorite tea today, constant comment. You're going to do my favorite things to do with tea, and that's mixing a little bit of booze into it. So you've got two delicious recipes, and I'm going to leave it to you to walk us through it.
Well, first of all, I have to say thank you for doing this. You do such a nice job with this, and to bring tea in, which I think is so appropriate over the holidays, is great. I also thought I should set the stage.
Perfect.
Slow. All right. So we are ready for some Christmas cheer.
Yeah.
So I got two, as you said, two great recipes for you. First one I'm going to do is a wild berry gin fizz.
You had me at fizz.
I like the Cosmo glasses. I also, before we start, have to say that I just love the decorations. I have an amazing team that
You
sets
do indeed.
up. They just put me in a red dress. They put me out here and they say, go make some alcohol drinks, which, as you might not remember, I used to be a bartender.
Yes.
So this is kind of my zone. When I'm not playing CEO, I like to play bartender. So
I'm going to invite you to my next party.
well, true story. As a bartender, I got two great pieces of advice. Pros, don't panic. From a professional bartender, pros don't panic. Take that with me this day. And second word of advice as a bartender that I learned is every step counts. I still, in this position, think about both of those all the time.
Those are really good tips. Those are good life tips, not just bartending tips.
Just saying. Who knew?
Nice. Okay,
all right.
Noted.
First one we're going to do is we're going to do something using our botanical, which you know I love. The botanicals are really a botanical infusion, an all-natural botanical infusion that were really created so that we would drink more water. Love them. They're delicious. In this particular case, I'm taking 2 of our black raspberry hibiscus, and I'm just putting it in, I don't know, 4 ounces of water.
Okay.
And I'm going to let it steep. I'm not going to let them steep here because you have to let it steep for about 8 minutes, which is a fair amount of time. Normally, they don't need that much for a botanical, but for an alcohol drink, or like I like to call a naughty, we need to let them steep. So they're going to
you call it a naughty?
Naughties. Yes,
I love it.
Here.
Perfect.
Naughties.
Stealing
So
it.
this is what it looks like after it's 8 minutes. So now the fun begins. I'm a little nervous because there's all kinds of things that could go wrong. First thing that could go wrong is the top doesn't come off. I'll let you when the next thing comes. Now, what I like to do is, I don't know, half cup of berries, so, a little bit more than a half cup. I have raspberries, blackberries. They're flying all over the place. That's great. They're still rolling. I'm going to put them in here since I'm the one doing the drinking. Then I'm going to muddle them.
Okay.
That is how you say it, right? Muddle. I had to practice that. I don't muddle often. I don't know about you, but I'm not a major muddler.
I love muddling.
Do you muddle?
I do. Yeah, I do. Mint and lime are my 2 favorite things to muddle.
Well, the mint is for like a mojito, right? Don't you muddle?
Yeah.
Bartender days coming back. My team has acknowledged that they all muddle. All right, so I've muddled pretty well. My team told me I have to muddle a lot. That seems muddled to me. You'll never know.
Yeah.
Looking in. All right. After you finish muddling, you're going to take your gin. I firmly believe in a heavier pour. So 2 ounces, happy holidays. Okay, take this out, my messy muddler. Now I'm going to take my 2 botanicals that I let steep for about 8 minutes to make it a lovely little concentration.
Yep.
Now I'm going to take my simple syrup. Again, it really is to taste. I like maybe 2 tablespoons, maybe a little more for good luck. Then I'm going to put the ice in. Wish me luck that it goes in. Ah, it did. Now, the second nervous part of this whole thing. Please, God, stay on. I don't do it very well. I was recently in a bar and the guy had 2 of them over his head and he looked so amazing.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not going to practice that. The other problem with this is Nom nom is when it gets cold, it's hard to get the lid off, but I think we're going to be successful. Yes. Now,
Perfect.
I love this particular glass. You don't have to use this, but I like it. I think it looks good, and it's all about the look. Now, this gets a little challenging because the beautiful berries are going to get in my way, so you're going to see lots of drama to get it out. Little tap, get those berries out of the way.
Gorgeous color, huh?
I know, this beautiful drink. Berries down.
I'm going to remind everybody while you're doing that, simple syrup is really exactly that. It's simple. It's equal parts sugar and water. That's it. And if you're going to do any kind of mixology, whether it's with alcohol or without alcohol, you need to have a simple syrup in your fridge.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it makes it so much easier, right? So now this is a little club soda, 2 ounces. It's really to taste. Put a little bit in there.
Mm.
Then I'm going to take a lemon and do a little squeeze. And then maybe I'll leave one also on for the look of it. All right. Now I'm just going to do a little bit of stir there. All right. Can we just talk about this? I mean, really? Come on. Look, I'm going to bring it close.
It's gorgeous. Beautiful
Okay,
color.
I need to try it, even though it's like, you know.
You must.
Well, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, as you know.
It's not morning anymore, so I say go for it.
Oh, this is really great. I'm telling you, this is dangerously good.
Now, dangerously good because obviously it's delicious, but I'm assuming also dangerously good because it's so delicious you just want to drink more of it, not realizing.
You will end up, I told you I put 2 ounces of gin in it.
Yeah.
You could easily drink that like it was like a juice in the morning.
A juice.
Which I will not be doing because I am going back to work after this. So there's our first one. Gorgeous, so fun. I recommend it for everyone. Easy to do, kind of fun to do with people as well if you are having a little party, especially the muddling.
Yeah.
So the next one, as you said, is made with the one and only, the famous Constant Comment, that is still pretty much only blended by my family and one other person. Is the only one that does this. So I'm really excited about using Constant Comment. So what do you do in that case? 1 tea bag of this beautiful. You have to do this also. Oh my
It's delicious, and it's, I mean, you know, it's
the
delicious. That's all I can say.
It's the original recipe. It's the same recipe that my grandmother created.
Well,
I mean,
and this is it. And anybody watching that has not had it, go out and buy some because it's perfect. It really is.
You know
Perfect.
what's so cool is that it's really the first specialty tea, spiced tea in the United States. It is still top 10 in the United States. Specialty tea, as you know, has exploded, is now the majority of all tea consumed in the country. And this recipe has not changed in 80 years. That's very cool to me.
So I'll tell you, Cindi, before my current life in this position, I had a tea company. And I remember our first, it started from the very beginning. The first December rolled along, and people started to come into my shop asking for Constant Comment. I'm like, sorry, we don't sell anybody else's brands. It's our own teas. And it was one after another, Constant Comment. We created our own holiday blend, not like yours, obviously, because yours is your recipe and nobody has your recipe. But that's what it was. It's the love that people have for this tea is above anything.
It is extremely popular around the holidays.
Yeah.
And it does. It also, for me, it really connotes a lot of memories. People write us all the time about memories they had drinking it with their family members, their mother, their grandmother, whoever. And, you know, it's really sweet. Every time you have a cup, it's really, you know, it brings back those memories. And it is so, as all tea is, it's so soothing. It's so comfortable. It's a wonderful product. So this one we did let steep for about 3 minutes.
Okay.
Now we're going to add 2 ounces of a spiced rum. This is a Constant Comment spiced rum latte.
Nice.
I like the rum part of it.
Yeah.
Then we're going to add the sugar. This time it is sugar.
So really underused alcohol, I find. Everybody tends to gravitate towards gin and vodka.
Well, I think rum is very, very versatile. Actually, believe it or not, in my days where besides a bartender, I was a sold liquor. Yes, I have experience in that area. And I was the one who I was one of many people. One of the first people that they launched my company launched. Seagram's not my company. I worked for them. And the Seagram's, and it took the world by storm. Oh my God. And it's still quite popular. It really is. I mean, you're right. It's
delicious.
Vodka. All right, so I put my sugar in there. Now I'm going to do another fun thing. It's not quite as fun as muddling, but I'm going to whip the milk.
Okay.
Wait till it gets a little foamy.
Yeah.
Again, easy to do, kind of fun, although you do need one of these little devices. So I'm going to get that all ready. So far, very easy. Constant comment, spiced rum, sugar to taste. Let's see. Pretty
Super
close.
simple.
A little bit more.
So these are the hand frothers. This is the hand frother that I was talking about earlier when Will was making it in, like, you know, a professional frother. If you don't have those at home, what you just did is perfect.
And then all you do is a little bit of cinnamon, although you know how good cinnamon is for you. I actually just got back from Vietnam in the cinnamon garden there, which is amazing. And of course, the cinnamon stick, that's the main thing they're trying to get from these beautiful cassia trees.
Yep.
We also have the powder here that we're using. And now we have ourselves a beautiful latte with a little bit of rum.
A little bit of rum.
Perfect amount of rum. I mean, perfect amount of constant comment. It's absolutely. So it's just a great warm drink, right? So I always like to say you can start your evening with the fizz, gin fizz, and then you can finish your meal with the latte, which is really great. And just so easy to do, really delicious, really fun, really unique, and, you know, very involved. You can have everyone in your household kind of partaking, doing it. They can do muddling, they can do the foaming, whatever it takes. But they're just great drinks. Tea is so versatile. You know, you can have it just like you had the wonderful individual before, just have it for a soothing, enjoyable cup, or you can also kind of spice it up a little bit.
Yep. And, you know, I really encourage people, if you are entertaining over the holidays, to set up a bar. Really something simple like you've just done over there, because there is a show about the whole thing. And as you said earlier, you know, don't get flustered about it. If something happens, it happens. It's happened to everybody. I mean, I've been on live TV where milk is splattered all over me. It happens. You just laugh it off. What are you going to do? But there is something really special about the whole show of creating drinks. Nice.
Well, I will tell you, this one really is special. This one is wonderful. Think about how cool it was, right? You let the sit for like 8 minutes in cold water. You're not putting it in boiling water, cold water. And you're muddling the berries. You're putting in the gin. You're putting in the simple syrup, putting in the tea. You're shaking it, and then a little soda and a little lemon, and it's really delicious, and it's beautiful.
The really great thing about these drinks is that you're controlling the ingredients, right? Instead of buying a juice, for example, that might be full of sugar and Lord knows what else, you are controlling the ingredients of what's going into your beverage. And what better ingredient than tea?
Well, what's fun too is you can move it around. If you want to do a different one of our botanicals, you know, we have different ones. You can absolutely use those instead. So you're right. You get to really kind of have fun with it. When you have 150 teas, there's a lot to work with to make.
There's a lot to work with, and I've said this before. What you guys do really, really well is you encourage people to mix teas together to create whole new flavors. You've done that for us in the past as well, and I think that's a really, really interesting approach.
I told you my famous tea drawer at my house.
Yeah.
My kids would bring their friends over. They'd open the drawer, and we just start mixing away, and they go so great together, right? You come up with your own, you can name it, and come up with your own flavors.
There's no wrong combination if you like it.
No.
Well, it's lovely to see you as always. I see that martini glass in my future, maybe tonight. Thank you, and I wish you and your family a very, very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, and hope to see you soon.
Absolutely. Thank you again for what you do for the tea industry. You bring such fun and bring people together. So we're very lucky to have someone as you passionate about tea as you leading the way.
That's sweet. Thank you, Cindi. It's easy when I've got such amazing products like you guys make. So thanks again. Take care. Bye-bye. All right. Well, great recipes as always, fabulous and fun. I think that you can take any of those recipes individually and repeat them at home. I think you can take tips from each one and create a whole new idea of your own as well. But the idea here is to take tea and elevate it. Take the flavors that exist within this beautiful world that we have before us. And that includes botanicals. So don't think that it just has to be your black and green teas. There's so many different variations and types just in those before you even start blending and flavoring them. But on top of that, we have this beautiful world of botanicals, and Cindi did a couple of botanicals, but even using, a peppermint tea to create, a minty, spicy kind of wintry tea would be a delightful combination. I hope that you've learned some great tips. I hope that it encourages you to try something new and something different. And I know that we're going to have even more fabulous recipes next week, and I hope to see you then. As always, the recipes are going to be listed on our YouTube channel just below the video itself. If you click on more, it'll take you to a link with the recipes. If you've missed last week's episode, please go back and watch it. If you want to go back and watch last year's, then you can certainly do that as well. Either way, I will see you next week, and thanks for joining us. Take care.